Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One, and welcome to Boots on the Ground and News You Should Know. A lot going on in this crazy world. First thing, there's lots of signs out there that Americans are struggling to pay their bills, and this is actually hurting Wall Street. This is because companies are feeling the pinch. People are just cutting back. So, credit card. People are using their credit card, but the average rate, and this would be in May of this year, was 21.51%. 21.51%. If you compare that to 2019, where that top rate was about 15%. I'm just getting tons of emails about people just telling me that they're tapped out. The costs are going up. Their wages aren't really going up that much. A lot of people are feeling the pain. The San Diego sector border chief in that area testified that he accused the Biden and Harris administration of covering up the encounters of suspected terrorists that are trying to cross the border. He was actually told not to release any of this information. He's saying that the terror ties, people coming across with terror ties, are skyrocketing. And rightfully so. Everyone knows you can cross the border. So our enemies are sending it. This time it's easy to get agents in or people that are going to do harm to the United States. Also, Germany. Ever since the underground pipeline was blown up, that was the start of Germany's problems. They're having really a big time, just major recession is going on, and it's going to get worse in Germany. So much so that there's been a huge plunge in EV, electric cars, delivered to Germany. 69%. That's because they're saying that the German people, the working class, cannot afford these vehicles. Also, I find it very, very funny that we always speak of democracy and freedom, but when Zelensky's term came up, there was supposed to be an election, and he suspended the election. To me, that's not a democracy, that's a dictatorship. Some of the people in Ukraine, his opposition, are saying, hey, you need to get us an election. If not, there could be some problems, and rightfully so. Yes, it doesn't matter if there's a war going on. You can still do an election because this is with people voting. If they vote for someone else that's trying to do a peace treaty, then we know that you're not wanted and your war is not wanted. Representative from Florida, Republican, is saying that there's credible evidence that there's 5 known assassins teams inside the United States gunning for Trump. A couple of these are domestic, and I think 3 are from foreign countries. I hope they increase Trump's security. Give him as much protection as they do a sitting president. American corporate leaders are saying that they're pulling back on hiring, and over the next 6 months, they expect a slowdown in sales. So definitely, that's looking like definitely a recession. Also, Delta Airlines is the latest big carrier that is going to cancel flights to Israel, and this is because of the growing problems with Hezbollah in the north. There's a bunch of other companies, Delta, United, and American, I think have all suspended direct flights to Israel. FedEx. When FedEx has problems, when UPS has problems, you know the economy is slowing down. And their revenue was, they missed their estimate. So their stock went down a lot. But they're saying that people are not using their services as much. So it's definitely costing them their stock price. The U.S. House of Representatives on September 18 passed a bill, and this would really authorize the deportation of illegal immigrants who are convicted of sex offenses. But the funny thing is, it passed, which we all thought it would pass. Why wouldn't it pass? We don't want sex offenders coming across. We don't want illegal immigrants. It's a privilege to be in this country. But the funny was, it was voted a 266 for the bill and 158 against it. To me, 158 people support having sexual predators that are illegal immigrants in this country. And this was definitely the Democrats and the left liberals, the people that hate true Americans, voted against this bill. Israel is intense bombing going on. They are hitting the Hezbollah positions. I truly believe they're going to go in there and take a chunk of Lebanon and call it a security buffer. Home prices grew in August 0.5%. So that's a big jump. This is just going to cause more inflation. the National Grid, and the National Grid is a power company, a provider of power to a community. And they held a meeting. They said they're proposing a 20% rate hike. So 20% rate hike is pretty big, especially when people are already feeling the pinch. And the reason is, and it's a good reason, because the cost of copper, the cost of labor, the cost of materials are all going up. And I see their point. Boeing is starting to furlough workers because of the machinist strike. 30,000 machinists turned down their contract and voted to strike. So Boeing is cutting everything they can cut to save money from this strike. They're furloughing thousands of executives, managers, and other staff. This is big. This will definitely affect the economy. Shoplifting and vehicle theft increase in Springfield, Ohio. And they're saying this is because of the Haitian refugees. And these are hard facts. These aren't just someone saying it. These are hard facts of the increase. Now, granted, the population has increased, but the crime spike is like 112, 113% more. Ghosting on the jobs. And I believe this 100% because I hear from people that say, I file an application. I really don't get anybody even telling me anything about an interview, about a follow-up, nothing. So ghosting of jobs is where they list the jobs, but they don't really fill the jobs. Reported that Biden will not stop a dock strike, and the International Longmen's Association, October 1st, and it's a strike. It could hit the East and the Gulf Coast ports. They have about 45,000 employees at 36 ports, and they go from like Texas all the way up to Maine. So this is a big deal. They're wanting higher wages, and they're upset about automation. Automation is going to be the future of everything, and they're getting rid of workers. So keep your eye on this. October 1st, this could affect you in Iowa, in Maine, in Vermont, in California. Anything where they're not delivering products to the dock is going to cause problems in our store. General Motors on Thursday announced layoffs at their Fairfax plant, and this would be in Kansas City. 680 employees will start their layoffs soon. Cisco just cut 5,600 jobs, and this is their second cut in 2024. The first cut was over 4,000 workers. So a lot of layoffs. Israel definitely is carrying out major strikes, and they're saying they took out over 100 Hezbollah rocket launchers that were loaded, ready to be fired at Israel. A new report out by China saying that China is gaining on the United States, preparing for the next war. We're not preparing for the next war like we should be, and that's because they say Pentagon red tape and slowness to embrace new technology out there. But we need to address that, especially drones. This is a report from someone in California. 80/20 ground beef at my grocery store has spiked to $9.49 a pound. $9.49 a pound. But they said they had a sale on it for $2.99, so I'm going to stock up. I get a lot of reports from California where the prices are just so much higher, from fuel to food to rent. This person, a subscriber, sent this in. I just got off the phone with Amazon. They had my account suspended for a week. I filled out all the information and sent them documentation, including blacked out parts of my bank statements that they said they needed. I've done nothing wrong, so I thought maybe there's someone trying to use my account. I got off the phone the second time with customer service, and it's a glitch in their systems, they're saying, and it could be affecting thousands of customers. So I can't use my Amazon or check my orders. I'm in Southwest Washington State. They also said, right around my house, the homelessness is out of control here. It's really not been a huge problem, but it has exploded. I also live on the river, and it's become a problem along the river. There's graffiti everywhere from gangs. This person, subscriber, sent in, I've been working at a facility for 45 years. I handle the electrical side of the facility. In my current position, I receive emails from our electrical utilities. Due to the sensitivity of my facility, I deal with scheduled and non-scheduled power outage from the utility companies quite frequently. I received a curious email 2 weeks ago. I was informed that 3 electrical utilities in my area are going to be testing on the same day, the same time. No details. The email also stated you may experience dip in the voltage at your facilities. I'm not worried much because I have multiple generators backing up my facilities, but I've never have gotten an email like this. So immediately red flags went off in my head. Why would 3 competing electrical utility companies test together on the same day at the same time? I came to only one conclusion. Now, thinking back to an announcement by the head of the FBI that said we will have our electrical grid attacked at some point. Logic forced me to believe that the threat is serious. Also, the utilities think it's serious, seeing they're doing this testing. So they did the test. Everything went fine for him. So that was great. He said, I prefer you don't mention the utilities by name. And I never do. I protect your identification. I also want, last in closing, I want to say this. Because a lot of times we don't put our head around this, or we can't fathom what's happening in this country. But it took over 200 years for the United States debt to hit $1 trillion. 200 years, $1 trillion. And now $1 trillion is added to the debt every 3 months. Every 3 months. We as Americans, we should be up in arms. We should be using everything at our disposal that's given to us by the Constitution. And I mean everything. To stop these politicians from crippling our country, causing inflation. This is criminal. Every single member of Congress should be booted out. Every leader in elected office should be booted out. Every bureaucrat should be fired. That is $1 trillion every 3 months. So, fast forward 4 years from now, we are going to be about $50 trillion in debt. And if you just throw an interest rate out there about 5%, it is going to take about 40% of all government money coming in just to pay the interest on this debt. This is unsustainable. This is why we have inflation. This is why Vice President Harris comes out and says, no, I'm going to punish these food producers because they're driving the price of groceries up. It's their fault. They're price gouging us. They're not price gouging us. They're living within an economy that you and many Republicans and Democrats, it's everyone has to blame on this, have created. You have created the inflation, and now you're trying to blame companies saying, oh, they're just charging too much. They're gouging you. That is not the case. That is a direct lie. I watched, I think it was on Fox News, just by chance I flicked it on and I got her and I heard her interview with Oprah. She has no policies, literally no policies. If you're a Democrat, you're going to vote for her. Go back and watch what she says. It's just, oh, feel good, feel good. Yes, I'm for the little man. I'm for the little woman. I'm middle class. No, she's not. If you honestly listen to what she says, she is full of malarkey. That's all I'll say. Malarkey. She has no policies. And we are still going to crash. I hope you're preparing. I hope you're prepping. If I need to scare you to a level where you're going to be motivated to protect your family, I'll do it. This ship is going to sink. It is taking on water. You better have a lifeboat. Thanks for watching.